2013, we saw another cycle that started to go down. And when I look at the market right now and the curve for gold and resource industry, financings, all of that, we see a down cycle from 2013 to 2018. And it seems right now it's on the upside. I believe we are at the beginning of a super cycle. It's going to be starting right now into the new year. August, we see a jump. That's what I expect to see from the curve. And in 2-3 years, we're going to chase resources. It may start next year. It may start tomorrow. But anyhow, down cycle, I believe, is ended right now. And the new year, we're going to jump into a new resource in commodity.
Thanks for watching this RTD interview. Don't forget to pick up your RTD Scary George round, only available at stbullion.com. Now enjoy this interview. Welcome to Rethinking the Dollar. Today I'm excited to have first-time guest, Mr. Farshad Shirvani. He's the CEO and president of Doubleview, and today he's joining us to share his thoughts on the global economy, as well as give us some opportunities in regards to the mining exploration side of things. So for Farshad, welcome to Rethinking the Dollar.
Hi, Mike, and hi, all the viewers and listeners. Thank you, Mike, for having me here.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to sit down with us here at Rethinking the Dollar. And so as I mentioned before going live, here at Rethinking the Dollar, I like to offer the audience a variety of opportunities to look at. And so, of course, we know precious metals are extremely important. And so as always, other ways of investing and putting your capital to work for you. And I believe that the mining sector and exploration companies offer opportunities there. So before we dive into the nitty gritty of the discussion today, I'm curious to get a little bit more information as to who Farshad is. So can you give us a little bit of your background and how you've arrived at this point in your career?
Yeah, I got master's degree in geology, and I started working in Vancouver in the industry since 1996, and started right from modeling deposits for copper, gold, silver, and been in the industry since then. I have and I am associated with several discoveries in Canada and around the world. And recently we have started working on our project, which I will explain about it. So during this 20-some years, I have just been focused on exploration and some aspects of the mining and bringing companies to fruition and for investors.
Sounds good. Well, Farshad, I appreciate you for sharing that with us. And so Rethinking the Dollar. And so the show is designed to provide an alternative viewpoint towards how we look at our monetary system and where things are heading. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on what comes to mind when Farshad hears the words Rethinking the Dollar.
Yes, when we look at the market almost cyclic all the time, especially about resource industry. When you look at the 1997 and you see the dot-coms came to the market from 1997 to 2002, we had a down cycle in the resource industry and the gold. The gold didn't even function to the September 11th, and after that, it started picking up. That was the start of a super cycle. I saw that from previous people, old timers, that they talked to me at that time. I wouldn't believe that's going to happen, but it did happen. We saw gold went to 1850 even. We saw 2013, we saw another cycle that started to go down. And when I look at the market right now and the curve for gold and resource industry, financings, all of that, we see a down cycle from 2013 to 2018. And it seems right now it's on the upside. I believe we are at the beginning of a super cycle. It's going to be starting right now into the new year. August, we see a jump. That's what I expect to see from the curve. And in 2-3 years, we're going to chase resources, gold altogether. There are other conduits coming to it too, like the war in Iraq and Syria. Once they're ended, they need a lot of resources, including gold, copper, iron, and commodities to rebuild these countries. These are big countries to be rebuilt, and they need commodities. They haven't started that. It may start next year, it may start tomorrow, but anyhow, down cycle, I believe, is ended right now, and the new year, we're gonna jump into a new resource in commodity. What happened in the past 5 years, there were cryptocurrencies and marijuana that they sucked all the money into themselves, and that's why resource industry were low. I think in the new year, we're gonna see resource industry jumping to the new highs and even beating that 1850 that we had it in 2013.
Wow, that's interesting. So you're saying a super cycle is coming in the days ahead. And so as that super cycle continues or starts, in a sense, where we see it reflected in prices, I'm curious to get your thoughts on currently, right now at this current moment. You listed a couple of things as far as the rebuilding of nations that have been troubled for some time. And so on the financial side of things, as gold and silver are always used as hedges against financial uncertainties. So I'm curious to find out, at this current moment, what are you keeping an eye on as far as some of the uncertainties that you think could ultimately be a catalyst maybe before the end of this year or at the beginning of next year in regards to our financial system or anything of that nature?
Yes, there are other factors are also at the play. For instance, the political condition in the United States right now. That's one of the important aspects of this uncertainty. The other one is United States and China. Right now, they are bargaining or communicating, or sometimes they don't communicate. That causes the silver and gold to come on the table. Those are two big factors. The other thing is Europe right now is looking into investing itself into commodities as well. That's because of all this war, uncertainties in Middle East and all those countries. And we haven't seen yet the worst of it.
We haven't seen the worst of it. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And so, I'm curious to find out, there's a lot of things happening, and it looks like gold is being repositioned to be a major asset amongst central banks and governments. And so I'm hearing more and more about what Russia is doing, what China is doing. When it comes to, who holds the most gold, I'm just curious as to your thoughts. Who do you think at this current moment, with the nation or whatever, where does the most gold reserve lie at? And then what are your thoughts on how it might be implemented in the future?
Apparently at this time, on paper, at least United States holds the most gold in the world, but it's still not enough to back up with the dollars and the dollar that distributed in the world. They have to reposition themselves. Countries like China right now, openly, Russia openly, they're buying gold. India, they're buying gold. They're positioning themselves because they have to back their own currency against the United States dollars. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind. And all those little countries that they consume gold, they are buying gold more and more because the paper print doesn't work for them anymore. They need to have that dollar to stand up against very powerful currencies. Australia doing the same. These are right now consuming the gold out of this circle. And we don't have gold right now. There are no new mines opened in the past 20 years. If they are, they're not significant. And expectation is, as we move forward, there's not going to be, gold mines popping up everywhere. They're not that many. So having huge demand and producing less, it causes the gold to go really skyrocketing. And gold is the tangible commodity that every single person can hang on to it. You can put a kilogram of gold in your pocket and walk with it everywhere you want, and no one notices that.
Yeah. Interesting. So I know a lot of people might be saying he's talking a lot about gold, but what about silver? Because gold, of course, in a lot of people's minds is too expensive in relation to silver. And then we have the whole ratio aspect of it being, I think last I checked, it was 80 to 1 or something that's unnatural. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on silver. Does silver still have those the same level of importance for your average person, as well as perhaps even for the financial sector, banking sector down the line?
Yes, silver has two aspects to it. Gold, mostly really good to put it in your pocket, very expensive, you can put it in your pocket. But silver has industrial use as well. So that's one of the aspects. The other thing is silver, you can buy silver in coins, put it in your pocket with 2 days not buying coffee, and you can put it in your pocket. That's why all of a sudden silver is going to follow the gold. That's my assumption. But there's always a lag of few months or less than few months. Silver is going to follow up with that.
Wow. Now, I'm curious to find out, because you're an exploration company, and exploration, my side of things, and the mining side of things. So before we get into your corporation, I'm curious to find out, based upon what you have discovered in your line of work, the ratio out of the ground. And so I think I've heard 1-9 or 1-8. So there's so many things that's out there. What have you personally come across in your time in the sectors you're currently in now?
Comparing gold and silver?
Correct. Out of the ground. Is it still 1-9, or what's the current ratio based upon your past experiences?
It's still generally always stays the same. Generally always stays the same. And it's 1-8 to 1-9 all the time.
Interesting. So I'm curious to find out a little bit more about Doubleview. And so for those, once again, we're all relatively new to the exploration space and the mining side of things. So I'm curious to find out a little bit about Doubleview and your corporation. So if you don't mind giving us some of the basics of the team you guys have, where you're located at, some of just the general things, and then I'll get into some more detailed things.
Sure. In another company that I was involved, we expanded that company. We found more resources. Eventually, that company was sold for $338 million. I thought that there's a time that I have to go and do the same thing for myself. So in 2013, we discovered the porphyry deposit, which is a gold, copper, and silver plus cobalt deposit. I discovered it from Greenfield. And we're working on that to expand this deposit even further. Right now, as we speak, we're drilling that.
Interesting. Now, when it comes to just mining stocks and things of that nature, I guess the gold, silver, and zinc stocks overall hasn't been doing too well. And so a lot of people might be like, okay, is that sector due for recovery? And then you mentioned a super cycle. So I'm assuming that with the price of metals increasing, therefore stocks in a variety of companies, as well as things that you guys offer as well from the exploration side, would also probably see a little bit of an increase as well. Give us some of your thoughts as to why the stock equities has been relatively low over the last couple of years, or give or take.
Yes, in the past 5 years, the attention, especially in North America, has been towards cryptocurrencies, has been towards marijuana industry, and all the money has been absorbed towards those. That's why the attention is gone from resources and deprived of this financing and investments and even investor attentions. But I see it right now, this year, the attention is going to go really towards the mining industry, resources. And, people are not paying attention, they're going to fall behind seriously. In the new year, I'm expecting about February, we're going to see a good jump. June, we're going to see another jump. August, we're going to go into full-blown super cycle, which is the start of the super cycle. And I expect it to be about 10 to 15 years cycle.
10 to 15-year cycle. So Doubleview itself, give us a little bit of insight as to, what you guys currently have going on. Give us some specifics of some possible opportunities for the viewers out there as far as projects is underway or coming.
Yes. Our project is called HAT, Gold Copper Porphyry Deposit. I discovered it in 2013. We have had significant intervals in the mineralization, up to half a kilometer mineralization in the drill holes, which is a very long intercept. And we've had up to 110 meters of 1.2 grams per ton gold equivalent, which is significant because when you look at the porphyry deposits, they are massive, they're very large. Gold in deposits like ours can go up to 10 million ounces in the other deposits that they've been found. So expectation is high, volume is large, grade is low. After the 2013, we continuously improved our footprint and improved our intercept, and I expect to see better results yet to come.
Interesting. Now, as you're speaking, I'm looking at your website here, and I see a variety of of the interesting things in regards to projects. And so I came across something about highlights, and it refers to the Golden Triangle and things of that nature, producing mines and develop deposits and whatnot. Do you mind going into a little bit of those details as well?
Yeah, sure. Golden Triangle is a part of British Columbia, which has produced possibly the largest deposits in the world collectively. And that triangle, which is imaginary triangle, is located on a terrain which is called the Stickenia terrain. This Stickenia terrain has the most congestion of the mineral deposits in the world, collectively created gold, copper, silver, and other metallic precious metals. And in that area, the focus is on gold. And we are located in that. Possibly our deposit that we discovered is the latest that was found in that area. There are right now companies drilling right now, a couple of them, but I heard like today that we are the last people standing up there and drilling in minus 15 degrees and finishing our last hole and coming back. Our target is to expand this deposit as much as we can and a step at a time. And on this drilling program that we have, I can say as much that we drilled, yes. We have drilled into the deposit, yes. So because of that, we have seen the mineralization. Of course, obviously is there. What is the grade? What is the content? We don't know yet. We have to wait for the lab results to come out and see them. As we take the samples right now, we send them to the lab, we split and, to the assay lab, and we are going to announce them as soon as we receive the assay results.
Interesting. Now, so Doubleview is a publicly traded company. Give us a little bit about your ticker symbol as well as market cap and the things of that nature.
Yes, Doubleview is traded on TSX under the symbol DBV, and on OTC is DBLVF, and in Europe, Frankfurt, under the symbol 1D4. And our market cap at the moment is $10 million, is fairly underpriced compared to what we have right now and what the footprint of this deposit is. This footprint of the deposit is way larger than the market cap and trading that we have right now. We're trading between 8 to 10 cents right now, and hopefully into the new year we see better.
Interesting. That's good. And so I'm curious to find out. So you by you being the CEO, or whatnot, assuming you're heavily invested in and believe heavily in the project. And so give us just based upon what you shared with us knowledge wise, give us like a 5-year, 10-year projection of where you can see things heading for Doubleview.
Yes. One of the most important things of a company that one has to invest in, you invest in the people. Have had backtrack of success. Then you invest in people. Again, another thing, I have 25% plus skin in the game, as people say it. Myself and my family, we have more than 25% of the company, and we're going to keep our percentage as we go. And I'm expecting in the next 5 years, we can extend this deposit further, and start doing resource calculation and moving that to a level, either take it to production or having a major mining company to come and buy us out in the next 5 years. So that's the plan. Normally deposits like that we've seen in the market, they're gone for. All of a sudden they're gone to $2-3 billion market cap after they are sold. So that's a huge jump in our cycle. Plus, we have started this exploration in 2010 successfully and gradually expanded that until now. The expectation is really going full blown next year and really expand this deposit further. So to make that 5-year plan shorter as much as we can and as much as we can.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that. And so as always, I'm looking to learn more about everything and to further educate myself as well as a viewer. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And so as we draw towards the end of our conversation, I'm curious to find out from a newbie standpoint, which is what I can admit that I am, is there anything else you might want to share with the viewers as well as myself that will be well worth us knowing in regards to investing in particular projects such as what you guys have going on, or just anything in general that could be good for the viewers to further educate them?
The cycle is resource cycle right now. If you want to be ahead of the game, you got to invest now and invest it fast to be ahead of the cycle. When the news is out, there's no value almost to it, and you're chasing the other investors. You want to be proactive than reactive. And that's the time right now for resource industry. And I think it's a well worth adventure to take calculated risk in these companies and move on and go with them before and ahead of the curve.
Interesting. Well, once again, Farshad Shirvani, it's been great having you on Rethinking the Dollar. For those that might be interested in finding out more about what you guys have going on and to further educate themselves directly through you, where can you point them back to stay up to date on the project developments and everything of that nature?
They can go to our website at www.doubleview.ca, or they can phone our office at 604-678-9587 or 604-689-9523 and talk to one of our colleagues. They can ask for myself. I'm always readily available to discuss the project, to discuss the opportunity with everyone.
Well, once again, it's been great having you on Rethinking the Dollar. Looking forward to continue to follow the progress of the operations there and further educate myself. And so look forward to hopefully having you back on sometime next year, and we can get a catch up and see where you guys are at that point. But once again, thanks for joining us here on Rethinking the Dollar.
Thank you. You have a nice day.
You as well.